sind in großen Schwierigkeiten. Weil weniger als 15% von euch Zeitung lesen. Weil die einzige Wahrheit, die ihr kennt, die ist, die aus dieser Röhre kommt. Heute existiert schon eine ganze Generation von Menschen, die nie etwas kennengelernt hat, was nicht aus dieser Röhre gekommen ist. Diese Röhre ist das Evangelium, die letzte Offenbarung. Diese Röhre kann krönen und stürzen. Präsidenten, Päpste, Premierminister. Diese Röhre ist die gefährlichste, furchterregendste, gottverdammte Macht in dieser gottlosen Welt. Und wehe uns, wenn sie je in die Hände falscher Leute kommt, Freunde. Wenn die 12. größte Gesellschaft dieser Welt, die gefährlichste, furchterregendste, gottverdammte Propagandamacht in dieser gottlosen Welt unter Kontrolle hat, wer weiß, welche Scheiße uns von diesem Sender als die Wahrheit verkauft wird. Aber ihr, Freunde, ihr sitzt da Tag für Tag, Abend für Abend. Alle Altersgruppen, Hautfarben, Glaubensbekenntnisse. Wir sind alles, was ihr kennt. Ihr fangt an, den Blödsinn zu glauben, den wir hier verzapfen. Ihr fangt an zu glauben, dass die Röhre die Wirklichkeit ist und euer eigenes Leben unwirklich ist. Das ist Massenwahnsinn, ihr Verrückten. Im Namen Gottes, ihr Menschen seid die Realität. Wir sind die Illusion.
Das Letzte, was die Männer hinter den Kulissen möchten, ist eine selbstbewusste und informierte Öffentlichkeit, die in der Lage ist, kritisch zu denken. Deshalb wird fortlaufend in Form von Religion, Massenmedien und Bildungswesen dieser betrügerische Zeitgeist verbreitet, mit dem Ziel, euch möglichst naiv und abgelenkt zu halten. Denn die Manipulation dieser Gesellschaft durch die Erzeugung von Angst und gesellschaftlicher Spaltung hat die Menschen komplett von ihrer Kraft und der Realität abgetrennt.
We were saying how very important it is to bring about in the human mind the radical revolution. The crisis is a crisis in consciousness, a crisis that cannot anymore accept the old norms, the old patterns, the ancient traditions. And considering what the world is now, with all the misery, conflict, destructive brutality, aggression, and so on, man, he's still as he was. He's still brutal, violent, aggressive, acquisitive, competitive, and he has built a society along these lines.
Welcome to the second annual Zeitgeist Day. I suppose this is really the first annual Zeitgeist Day, actually. This first Zeitgeist Day as of last year really wasn't, it didn't have as much of a point as this. I've made some interesting discoveries, as you've seen probably in the Zeitgeist Addendum. I assume most of you. Oh, by the way, my name is Peter. I don't want to bore you all with the long-winded introductions because there's so much I want to cover tonight. We have a 4-hour program, essentially. It's going to be a lot of information, and I want to take a nice pace with it. But we have about 450 events happening worldwide tonight, which is amazing, in 70 countries. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted and inspired by the inspiration I understand in this audience. There's at least 10 countries represented that have come here just for this event, and I hope to make it worth their while.
Happy Z-Day!
Today is Worldwide Zeitgeist Day. Today, people have gathered outside the BBC to protest about why has Zeitgeist not been shown on major TV. It was shown on the internet on YouTube and has been viewed by over 150 million people.
Incoming balloons. You can take a picture.
Hi Oliver.
How you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, basically, we were upset that none of the mainstream channels would even consider showing this or any part of it. So we made a big effort to contact the BBC, because within the UK they are really the #1 institution, and nobody's even replied to any of our emails, our phone calls. We've had numerous people that have emailed and called, and nobody's even replied. So we thought, hey, why not on Z-Day come outside and just show everyone what it's all about?
Hi Seb, can you tell me why you've come here today?
Well, we thought we'd bring our blue balloons to the BBC rather than pitchforks and banners to say, hey, why aren't you putting this Zeitgeist movie on TV? Not just on the BBC, but on every channel. But I figure, hey, you have to pay a TV license to even own a TV in this country. So really, let's hit the guys at the top and in a nice, polite, blue balloon kind of way.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to
I remember the beginning of the space program. Somebody said you wouldn't see man on the moon for 1,000 years. A guy like that should say, I don't know enough about rocketry, I don't know anything about space travel, therefore I can't give you an answer. Learning how to say, I don't know, is the most difficult thing. Don't take my word for anything. Just ask any congressman, how would you stop automobiles from hitting each other? I don't know. How can you increase the agricultural yield so everyone can eat? I don't know. Well, what the hell do they know? Our problems today are not political. 100 years ago, politics was all right, not that good. Today, our problems are technical. Everything that you have, your radio, your television, your airplanes, your transportation, is all technical. If it wasn't for technology, you'd be pulling boats along the Volga River. It's technology that moves things forward. Now people say, well, trouble with you, John, is you want to give people things for nothing. I'm sure you've heard that. Let me tell you a little bit about things for nothing. just being born in any technical country today. You got the lights, the telephone, the washing machine, air transportation. You had nothing to do with that. You got it for nothing.
Your government has everything under control. You may go back to the shopping now. Buy what makes you feel good.
Diljem svijeta kako bi pažnju javnosti usmjerili na probleme koje unutarnjih filmova rasprave o svjetskom poretku u Zagrebu, Splitu, Osijeku.
Riječ je o promjeni ekspresora odnosi na kapitalistički sustav, dakle promjena sustav.
Znači u jednoj rečenici.
Pitanje postaviti iznova.
Zeitgeist Bewegung darbiem galvenais princips ir vērsts uz
For those of you who are new to the Zeitgeist Movement, we are an international movement now numbering about 500,000 worldwide.
Ich bin dann also wieder nach Deutschland und habe mich trotzdem noch gefragt, wie kann man es besser machen als unser System. Habe mir erstmal das Geldsystem angeguckt und habe einige Sachen gefunden, die ich vorher nicht kannte, die mir nicht bewusst waren davor. Habe dann also nach Lösungsansätzen gesucht und auch viele gefunden, Regionalgeld, bedingungsloses Grundeinkommen, und ich habe auch die Idee der ressourcenbasierten Ökonomie gefunden. Und die fand ich so ganzheitlich und sinnvoll, dass ich mir dachte, da mache ich einen Infotag zu auf Deutsch, damit viele Leute sich angucken können. Das heißt, Gesundheit und Lebensqualität steht nicht mehr, kann nicht an erster Stelle stehen, weil wir Profit machen müssen. Und die Idee von Geld ist ja zu tauschen, damit einer die Ware des anderen hat.
Jacques Fresco and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today and present the Venus Project.
If you want a world without war, without hunger, without poverty and deprivation, this is what you must do. If you fail to do this, nothing will happen. I have no power. Roxanne has no power. Depends on what you do when you leave here.
We are all well aware of the shortcomings all over the world and the state of the problems that we have. I believe we are here today to try and find solutions to those problems.
This is what has to be done. All the Earth's resources must be declared as a common heritage of all the world's people. All the artificial boundaries that separate people have to be eradicated. Everyone has to be taken care of on Earth. We have to put an end to police, prisons, and military systems as a method of solving crime.
What is needed is a workable alternative to the way we conduct human affairs. Our problems cannot be solved through political methods. It might have been good 100 years ago, but today politicians are not there to change things, no matter how many times they use that word. They're there to keep things as they are.
Let me put it your way. If we took any politician in any country, say, how would you stop automobiles from hitting each other? I don't know. How would you make buildings completely fireproof? I don't know.
They don't know how to make a higher yield per acre. They don't know how to make better transportation. They don't know how to design new cities.
How would you bridge the difference between nations? They don't know. They're jackasses. They belong in the past. Some people say that the things I say are too far out. You'll never see that. Well, certainly, if you do nothing, you'll never see that. And if we don't accept responsibility for our own future, others will do our thinking for us.
Als ich ein junger Mann war, der in New York City aufwuchs, weigerte ich mich, den Treueid auf die Fahne zu schwören. Natürlich wurde ich ins Büro des Schulleiters geschickt und dort gefragt, warum willst du nicht den Treueid auf die Fahne schwören? Alle machen das. Ich sagte, früher glaubten noch alle, dass die Erde eine Scheibe sei, aber das machte sie nicht flach. Ich erklärte, dass Amerika alles, was es besitzt, anderen Kulturen und anderen Nationen zu verdanken hat und dass ich den Treueid stattdessen auf die Erde und ihre Bewohner schwören würde. Ich muss wohl nicht mehr sagen, dass ich kurz darauf die Schule ganz verließ und ein Labor in meinem Schlafzimmer einrichtete. Dort begann ich über die Wissenschaft und die Natur zu lernen. Damals wurde mir klar, dass das Universum Gesetzen unterliegt und dass der Mensch zusammen mit seinen Gesellschaften von diesen Gesetzen nicht ausgenommen ist. Dann kam der Crash von 1929. Es begann die Zeit, die wir heute die große Depression nennen. Ich fand es schwierig zu verstehen, warum Millionen keine Arbeit und kein Zuhause hatten und hungerten, während die Fabriken stillstanden. An den Ressourcen hatte sich nichts geändert. Zu dieser Zeit erkannte ich, dass die Spielregeln der Wirtschaft von Grund auf unrichtig waren. Kurz danach kam der Zweite Weltkrieg, in dem sich verschiedene Nationen gegenseitig systematisch zerstörten. Ich rechnete später aus, dass all die Zerstörung und all die verschwendeten Ressourcen, die in diesem Krieg vergeudet wurden, mit Leichtigkeit die Bedürfnisse aller Menschen auf dem Planeten hätten decken können. Seitdem musste ich dabei zusehen, wie die Menschheit ihre eigene Auslöschung vorbereitet. Ich musste dabei zusehen, wie im Namen des Profits und der freien Märkte unsere wertvollen, endlichen Ressourcen kontinuierlich verschwendet und zerstört werden. Wie die sozialen Werte der Gesellschaft zusammenschrumpfen auf die künstliche Basis von Materialismus und gedankenlosen Konsum. Ich musste dabei zusehen, wie die Macht des Geldes die politische Struktur sogenannter freier Gesellschaften kontrolliert. Ich bin mittlerweile 94 Jahre alt und ich fürchte, meine Einstellung ist die gleiche wie vor 75 Jahren.
This shit's got to go.
My name is Peter Joseph. I'm the founder of a social sustainability organization called the Zeitgeist Movement, which in form has about 1,000 chapters across 70 countries, and basically we're all working together to try to bridge some differences about economic problems that are working its way across the world: social destabilization, unemployment, debt crisis, environmental destabilization. And this community is attempting to bring new sustainable ideas to the forefront to revolutionize economy as we know it, hence revolutionize human values as we know it, so we can try to create a new way of life. You know, it's a grassroots movement with that basic premise.
This movement is essentially a social movement. It's easier to describe what it isn't really. It's not a political movement. We don't really recognize politics as a viable option in addressing the issues that we talk about. It's a voluntary social movement really, a grassroots social movement that centers on actual sustainability. We need a society that functions on a physical level, that actually has advanced, intelligent, automated to the most degree that you can, systems to enable efficient transport, efficient energy usage, efficient land usage. Part of our understandings are that we need sustainable city systems, very much like those spoken about in the Venus Project or by Buckminster Fuller or many other futuristic city plans. So that's sort of the first level, is we understand that Earth is a finite resource. Earth is actually entirely a resource. We think about wave and wind and time. It's in fact one thing. This is the resource we're on. This is the rock that we're on that's hurtling through space. And we need to live on it. We need to continue to live on it. And as well as possible.
Why do I like the Zeitgeist Movement? Why do I advocate for the Zeitgeist Movement? It's very simple. I love this.
What we currently refer to as capitalism, under various guises around the world, suggested in various doses and concoctions in the prescriptive manuals of political philosophy and economic texts, the monetary-based price system as a means of coordinating and organizing so-called economic activity of consumers, producers, and owners of resources is ultimately unsustainable. The reason for this is that it's essentially predicated upon linear consumption, and you cannot run a linear system on a finite planet.
Join the Zeitgeist Movement. It is exciting. The people that you meet are fantastic. They think like you, and we're out to make a difference on something that really matters.
It was whatever you needed to do to get money. And what's happened now with the value system disorder is that since that's the pursuit, that's the divine drive of the system, that's what status is defined by, that's what your success is defined by, that everyone can blindly look the other way with how much destruction is occurring in the world.
And when I look at our species, I just see one that's divided. We're so in our infancy, we're having to learn the most basic lessons in the 21st century, you know, and the Zeitgeist Movement and the resource-based economy doesn't go like that. It advocates that the Earth is the common heritage of everyone to share. And not for us all just to dive in and take what we want, but for us to intelligently manage the planet.
The monetary system has come to an end. It was very useful for a while. I've not been anti-money in all of history. It's changed its usage in history. You can't be blanket anti-money and still understand the history of money. But we've obviously come to the end of that paradigm now, because now it isn't serving us anymore. And that was the goal to begin with. It was to ensure that there was enough labor, so there are enough resources, so that we have the system, so that people are okay.
The Zeitgeist Movement, from my perspective, it's all about equality, it's all about preserving our planet, and it's all about thriving on human creativity and innovation.
In fact, the truth is this entire system of cyclical consumption that we have in this country is the cause of all of our problems.
Zeitgeist Addendum was mind-boggling. Dots began to connect.
Now is that time to move to that next level.
I advocate the Zeitgeist Movement, the Venus Project, and the resource-based economies because they represent the only viable alternatives to the corrupt and unsustainable system that we have today.
People aren't following this because Jacques Fresco is their version of Jesus or because Peter Joseph is a good public speaker. They have looked at it and decided that it makes sense to them.
Basically trying to get people from around the world to discuss why, in a very concise manner, they advocate the Zeitgeist Movement, the Venus Project, and of course a resource-based economy.
The Zeitgeist Movement.
Why I advocate
I think the Zeitgeist Movement.
Today, around the world, many people often say, I wish we could live like Americans. I know you've heard this before. Well, no. Conspicuous consumption patterns of the American culture should be despised by all other countries on this planet. We have 5% of the population and we consume 30% of the world's resources. It's insane. In a resource-based economy where we base our production and distribution on physical references, starting with the carrying capacity of the earth, where we streamline our labor expression towards things that have a long-term social return, when we get rid of the cancer known as the financial system and start to share our resources in a diligent way, working together, avoiding the false values of materialism and consumption pushed upon our culture, we find that we can provide a high quality of life for everyone on this planet while eliminating all of the central reasons for war, poverty, destitution, violence, criminal behavior, neuroses. It would be the dawn of a world we could actually label a civilization. And if that isn't a goal worth working towards, I don't know what is.
The future rests in our hands, yours and mine. It rests in the capacity which we totally have as a species to make radical shifts when our survival is necessary. And maybe we are the people who will emerge to create an alternative that enables our species to survive in peace on the planet. Otherwise, we will not survive.